Hello and welcome to a new Anchor meditation. With the recent news that the UK is going back into a second lockdown, it's easy to think that life is pretty bad at the moment and it's probably not going to get any better. It can be quite difficult to maintain a level of comfort and balance in these incredibly chaotic and unpredictable times. In today's meditation, I want us to observe our thought processes and observe what's going on inside our heads that makes this entire process seem so overwhelming. There is no right or wrong in meditation. You can't get this wrong. So please don't feel if you're at any point during this practice that you could be doing better or that it shouldn't be the way that it is. Everything is the way that it is. And the more we can learn to accept what is, the more we can learn to become comfortable within ourselves and therefore our life. Before we start this meditation, make sure that you're in a place where you're not going to be disturbed for the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. If you're sat on a chair, make sure that you're sat with your back up straight and your palms facing up. Alternatively, you can lay down for this practice, but whatever works for you and whatever's most comfortable. So just settle into position now. Get yourself all nice and comfortable. Relax. And when you're ready, close your eyes. Now I want you to just start with breathing. Take a big breath in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And I want you to just breathe in and out. Now keep doing that. Just follow the breath. There is nothing else you need to be concerned with at this time. Feel the sensation. Feel the cold air rushing into your nostrils or mouth. And feel the warm air leave your body. Tap into how that feels. If there's anything that comes up, any thoughts, that's okay. Just go back to the breath and keep focusing on the breath. In this modern world, we have a lot to think about as human beings. Places to be, people to see. Could be, what am I going to have for dinner? Could even be, where am I going to get my dinner? Could be, what am I doing next week? What if they don't like that? These ideas that we carry with us every single day. These thought processes that consume our thinking mind, that fill our awareness with noise. Sometimes we just wish we could switch it all off. Switch off thinking. If you're noticing a thought come in, I want you to just try and notice it. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to stop it. You don't need to argue with it. You don't need to wish it was not there in the first place. Just try and observe it. If you see an idea or an internal dialogue, pictures, sounds, anything come into your mind, I want you to just note that. Note that thought, and then come back to the breath. Your breath is your anchor. It is always there for you. It is always there to return to. You've got nothing to worry about as long as you have your breath. Just try practicing that each time a thought comes in. Just shift your attention to your breath. It's okay even if it takes you for a bit of a ride. If it takes you a few moments to even recognize your thinking. But each time you do that, you're becoming the awareness behind the thought. Before the thought arises, where do you find yourself? And after the thought has gone, where do you find yourself? It's easy to think that we are our thoughts. That our thoughts are all that we have. That they are a part of us. But imagine that you're standing on the side of a busy road with cars moving in either direction. One of those cars is like one of the thoughts in your head. Seemingly comes out of nowhere. But if we release ourselves from the thoughts, then they're gone as quickly as they arrived. If we decide to follow the thought, if we decide to follow that idea, then how far could it go? How far could the car take us? Where does it go? Does it change who you are? Does it change what you do? In this example, you are not the cars driving down that busy road. You're an observer standing by the side of it. Thoughts will come and go as they please. And there's nothing we can really do to put a block on that road, to block the cars or to block the thoughts from passing our field of awareness. But we do have the ability just to let them go past. We don't have to chase after them. We don't have to follow them. We can watch them enter and then leave. When we feel like things are a little bit too much, and the world is coming down on top of us, anxious, frightened, scared, it's like we've got thousands of these cars rushing right past us with the idea that we have to follow and know every single one of them, and that every single one of those cars is a real threat. Every single one of those thoughts are a real idea. The key for finding peace at this time is not to chase after them as if they were reality. But to let go of them and recognize that no matter what happens, no matter if one of those ideas were to potentially manifest and become a reality, that you know that you would be able to deal with it. Happiness isn't about stopping the things that scare us or make us anxious. Happiness is about recognizing that no matter what happens, we will be okay. These cars, these thoughts, these ideas, they only exist in your world. Your unique perspective of the situation creates your thoughts and your feelings. Your power comes from the ability to choose and the ability to let go of ideas and thought streams that aren't serving us. I want you to think, if you have any thoughts coming up at the moment, are they nice thoughts? Or are they more difficult thoughts? If they are more difficult, what makes them difficult? What is it telling you? Do you fear it? Perhaps it could be peaceful and happy thoughts. Thoughts come in all shapes and sizes. But when we find ourselves in times that can be uncertain and frightening and turbulent, it can be very easy to be carried away with our thought processes. One moment you're worried and anxious about one thing, the next you realize there was no reason to be concerned or have the worries that you had. I want you to just imagine that you're standing by the side of that road and you can watch those thoughts go past. You can watch them crossing in front of you, but you don't need to follow them. Because you are not your thoughts. You are not your ideas. And you are not your concepts. You are the observer of your thoughts, the observer of the ideas, and the observer of the concepts. A silent watcher. But as the observer, the thoughts arise in your field of consciousness. You create the space that gives birth to thought, not the other way around. So no matter what happens, no matter how noisy it can get, you can always take yourself back to the side of the road and stop chasing the cars. Stop chasing the ideas. You can let them go. You don't need them to survive. In fact, they need you. The moment we let go of an idea or a thought, its power that it had over us completely diminishes. The only thing that makes it real is if we make it real. Some thoughts can be more challenging, perhaps even emotionally triggering. But the technique of coming back to the breath of bringing yourself to that present state, of being the watcher of thoughts, will give you the personal power to recognize that so much suffering and challenge and difficulty that we find in this experience exists from our own creation. You have the ability to silence the thoughts. You have the ability to let them drift by. You have the ability to let them go. For as they will always arise, for as long as you are there to give them the attention that they will require. I really want you to focus on your breath now. And recognize if a thought comes into your awareness. Any ideas you have about yourself, any ideas you have about the world, any ideas you have about anything, any opinions. And even if it's unpleasant, there's no need to fight it. Just recognize that you have the power to let them go. You have the power to let them dissolve. When they dissolve, when you let them go, that pure state of awareness, that presence, that silence remains. If you imagine a cup, you create the space in an empty cup. The thoughts are like water filling that cup. But you are the one who created the space in that cup in the first place. So all you need to do is empty it again. Take a nice big deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I hope today's meditation on thought and thought processes has helped you recognize perhaps your own ability and your own capability of recognizing your own thought streams. In a time where it's very easy to be carried away with our thought processes, our ideas, whether beneficial or destructive, the power to recognize that we are thinking and to let go of those patterns of thinking, those thought streams, those ideas, those concepts, is where a lot of our power as human beings lie. Nothing is ever going to be as bad as your head will make it out to be. I'll see you next week.